Yeah. So this webinar is going to be conducted by me and Amit. So Amit is there. Amit, if at all you can just introduce yourself.
Yes, thanks, Mahesh. Okay, so right. My name is Amit Basal, and I do have a collective experience of 25 years in end-to-end product design, strategy and execution, team leadership and creative direction. So I worked on agile and lean methodologies also. And the prime thing is about the UX UI design for mobile applications, dynamic website design development, branding, graphic design, promotional media, and digital marketing. So this is overall my experience in these areas, uh, talking about the professional journey, we started. Mahesh and I actually were in the same. You can say in the same company called CD Infotech. From there we started. So that was the 9 years of experience in Seed Infotech, where I used to head marketing design cell. Then I worked for Vince's ID Services for almost three years, and there I was heading media design and promotion. Then I switched to UI Alpha ICT LLP, where it was an engineering company, and that was something I worked really on some good projects of IoT, HMI design, interfaces for Regal Rexnode, Lab India, Godrej, Blue Star, and Komatsu, so on. So, yeah, so this is about me. Uh, Thanks, Mahesh, for the opportunity.
Okay, so now while Amit will be talking about the UI UX part, I'll be talking about the how development basically progresses. Okay, so we'll start with the very the basic thing that we go with. Okay, so the what to expect from this webinar. I'm just going to go and show a whiteboard, and let me. Yeah, here we are. So I'm just going to go and have a overall what you can say overall maybe 10,000 feet overview of what we are going to go and see in this webinar, and what is it that I'm going to go and put in the plate, and what Amit is going to go and put up. Okay. So normally, what happens is whenever there is some idea, so those who are developers, what happens is we start with a something like concept. So there is either it's a product of our own which we keep on creating, or whichever company that you work for, either it's a product of that company, or the company basically does the product of some other company. Okay, which means we are either product based company or we provide service while building somebody else's products. So eventually what happens is when the idea is conceived, that okay, this is something which needs to be done. How do we get that idea, how do we get that concept to the reality in terms of software development? That's what me and Amit will be talking about. And then both of us expertise are different. So Amit is from the UI UX background, while I'm from the complete development background. So we'll be like working hand in hand to understand how the things work. So here we are. Normally, whenever a software, a concept or software idea is conceptualized, so what happens is most of the most of the development is basically people learn either on job or via some sort of software engineering books. But when it comes to this, we do know there are certain stages that we go through. So there is a requirement gathering that happens. Then there is something which is called as requirement analysis that we go through. And then we go through something which is called as okay, design phase. Then there is a development or coding, we can call it as. Then there is something which is called as testing. Then there is staging. Then there is deployment. And then there is something after deployment. What happens is we maintain the code. Okay. And under the maintenance, whatever bugs keep on, coming, what we do is we keep on basically handling those bugs. So this is the typical process that normally we go through. So, okay, this is testing. Then there is something that is called as staging. Then we go with something which is called as deployment, and then we go with something which is called as maintain. Okay. And then obviously, just to do the bug fixes, what is it that keeps on happening is maybe after this testing, what happens is there can be a process wherein we keep on repeating this, development thing, the bug fixes basically. So we keep on calling it as bug fixes. Okay. So bug fixes is what we keep on calling. And under that, maybe under maintenance mode, when it comes to what happens is one more time we go through the same sort of process. So under maintenance, whenever new features basically keep on, you know, being asked by the what you call the companies, normally what happens is we also have out here something which is called as it can be bug fixes or it can be maybe features, okay, being added or asked. So this is the overall thing that we keep on doing under the what you called as maybe a development in general. So now what is it that we want to understand? What exactly a developer does in this process and what exactly a designer does in the process. Okay, so this is a typical cycle wherein we have lot many things basically involved. Okay, while the requirement gathering happens, they can be a marketing team, they can be something which is called as say marketing team, they can be something which is called as a design team person, a UI UX design team person, they can be something which is called as an architect who can also be part of this kind of a discussion. So overall team can be part of this requirement gathering thing. Under the analysis, what happens is there are certain things that each of the person from a team is going to go and do certain things, while a marketing person basically does the what you call it as evaluation of how much money we are going to go and make and how much to spend and how much to earn. And then that equation, while marketing person is going to go and work with, when it comes to design and architect, so what exactly designer does in that phase, what architect does as a technical architect in that phase, that's what comes up. Each of the person basically plays a role in this process. Okay, and when the development also happens, they can be again one more time, the majority of the work is done by so-called you can say design and the a design team person and an architecture team person during the what you call as this process. This entire process which we have out here, after the development, there's a continuous what you call it as uh, continuous integration, continuous deployment that we keep on calling. So from development to the deployment, and then the process basically gets repeated. We can keep on calling it as a DevOps as a process. Okay. So this is something which is a DevOps as a process, which keeps on repeating out here. Okay. So this can be DevOps as a process that we can keep on following out here from here to here. Okay. So this is where DevOps follows, wherein, they can be Docker, container, cloud, and blah, blah, blah things comes up in picture. So we need to understand from design and architect perspective what exactly we keep on doing. Okay. So what I'm going to go and do now, since we can keep on talking about the technicality or technical perspective, and I'll hand over the stage to Amit, wherein Amit will be talking about how exactly the basic thing that most of us may have a question about. There are terms that we keep on talking about, something like UI and UX. Okay. So, or design and usability, we keep on talking. So maybe in layman terms, maybe in a simple term, if Amit can explain us what exactly the UI UX, maybe differences are, and what exactly, we as a developers, we should know about the UI UX part. So maybe Amit, if at all, you can just explain us what is the basic differences between UI and UX, and if at all, you can just share some examples so that all of us can get idea that okay, this is exactly where the we can make a difference between UI and UX. So I'll hand it over to you, Amit, and then I'll be talking about. I mean, you can also once you are done with the simple examples of UI UX, then we can go through the journey of something like what exactly you as in UI UX person do when the requirement gathering happens or analysis happens or designing happens. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
just I'll share.
Okay, thanks, Mahesh.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
I'll stop
so
sharing and I'll uh, start sharing my. Rather, I'll just stop sharing. Okay. You can start sharing now.
Okay, please. Actually, I need a permission to allow to share
Yeah,
share a
multiple
screen.
participants can share. Just a minute. Give me a minute. Let me do one thing.
Okay, thanks, Mahesh.
I
Okay.
mute myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, guys, if at all you have concerns, questions, queries, feel free to like immediately just start talking. So we need to have this session interactive. So try to be there and try to ask questions, as many questions as you have.
Okay, thanks, Mahesh. Great. So before diving into what is UX and UI, I'll just explain what does UX mean. Okay. So UX stands for user experience, where a user is a person who is using that product and experiences how they feel and what they think while using it. Okay, so it's just not a how the product looks, but it's about the overall journey of a person when when interacting with something from start to finish. Okay, so this is something called as UX, and UI is the user interface, the how the product looks actually, and how friendly it is, and how easy it is to use. Okay, so this is something about UX and UI. So let's start with something with a analogy of a restaurant where you go to a restaurant and you see the overall dining experience out there. So you ask many questions in your mind itself that how easy is to book this table, or is the food tasty or served on time, are chairs comfortable out here? Does the customer feel satisfied enough to return and have some good kind of a meal again? So this is over the a overall dining experience that is called the user experience. Now, if you see that user interface, we'll talk about that the visual look of the restaurant. Okay, so it is something about the color of the walls. You can say the menu design, lighting, the music, the plating style, the staff uniforms. So these come under the user interface things. Just these things just don't decide what you eat, but they strongly influence how you feel while eating. So I guess this is a good analogy where you can see what is the user experience and what is user interface. Got it? So any questions regarding this thing?
Any questions, guys? Sanket, Shweta, Sonia, Sandeep, Vishal. I need to understand what the TLF03 stands for. But then, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
So
Shubhangi, TFL means
Okay.
Shubhangi
Okay.
Tamde.
Okay. Okay.
okay. Yeah, thank you. So I guess there are no questions. So I'll just jump in. What is UX versus UI? So now on the left hand side of the image here, you can see there are many inputs for the UX kind of a thing. So that is the what is useful, satisfiable, convenient, credible, accessible, desirable, valuable. And if you look into the UI, it is about the content, color scheme, typography, layout, images, forms, buttons. So these are the things where we'll understand each of the thing very shortly. Okay, so let's talk about the left hand side first. Okay, so uh, this left hand side of the image is something. Just put it here. Yeah. Okay. So left hand side of the image is something that the first one is useful. So what does it mean? That it means something that does this app really solve my problem? For example, Google Maps. That is the best example what we can give. The Google Maps helps you find the routes. So that is solving a problem. That is the useful thing. The second one is valuable. Okay. So is it worth my time or money? So if you can say, if you are booking something or ordering food on Zomato or Swiggy, so you can save a lot of time uh, in doing your own things, and you can order the food in just half an hour. So that is a valuable thing. So the third one is desirable. So if you see that, do I actually want to use it? Is it desirable? So now The best example I can give is that the next Netflix recommendations that make you watch, excited to watch something. So they give some recommendations. Yeah, this is good to watch. Now you watch this thing, and now this is the other series you have to watch. So this is something a desirable thing. So do I actually want to use it? Then you're talking about the accessibility of the product. So can everyone use it, including the people with disabilities? So this a typical example could be the alt text for images on websites. So actually they are meant for understanding the visually impaired people, and they can hear that thing and they can make out what kind of an image it is. Okay. So the next point would be credible. So do I really trust this brand? Uh, yeah. So if you talk about the Amazon and you are searching for a product and you get the reviews that this is reviewed by, this is verified by Amazon, so that you get a badge out there, so verification badge, and then the trust thing happens. So that is a credibility. Then, is it convenient to use? So, how easy is to navigate? So, the best example I can give that is the Ola app that lets you book the ride in three minimal clicks. So, you search the destination, you give your own destination, you book the ride, and then you choose the vehicle, and then you book the ride. So, it is that simple. So, that is the convenience you get, and is the product satisfiable? You can say. So, does it leave me happy or make me come back? So, you can say a very smooth checkout process for Flipkart. So that is something satisfiable. So this is what we talk about the left hand side of the image, that is the UX part, and now I come to the UI part. So this is the major difference between UX and UI. So in the UI part, you can see. Uh, this thing. Okay, the color scheme. The first one, we'll talk about the color scheme. Does the color set my right mood? So when you again go to the Netflix screen, you can see there is a Netflix black and red color that feels very cinematic. So that is the color scheme. Typography, are the fonts readable and consistent? So you can go to the Apple website and you can see the fonts out there. So they are very much readable and they are very consistent. Okay. So layout, again, layout thing is something, is everything arranged logically and properly? So you can again take the example of Apple's website. So it has neat product sections, right? Then if you'll talk about the images, do visuals explain things better? Yes, of course, yes. So that is Swiggy uses food photos to trigger cravings. So you can just look at the photo and you can see that this particular dish that is very tempting and that is very craving. So I can order this thing right now. Okay. So the forms simple and clean? You can see here. Google sign up, in short, uh, is short. It is very clear and it is very short. Google sign up. So buttons, are they easy to spot and click? Uh, so you can actually go to the WhatsApp application and you can see that there is a green send button on the right hand side, right? So that is very that is that button is instantly recognizable. So you can see that button and you understand that I have to click on this button. Okay, and the last but not the least, that is the content part. Okay, so are the words very clear and engaging? So if you can take the example of Duolingo app, so it uses fun, friendly, and micro copy. So the users get engaged with it. Okay, so you can say a real world counter example for a bad UI. You can just go through it. You can see the many government sites, the government websites with tiny text, mismatched colors, and too many buttons. Even if it works, it feels outdated and confusing sometimes, right? So this is the major difference between UX and UI.
So, Amit, if at all you can just, maybe showcase certain examples, maybe one more time in layman terms, like, in a day-to-day activity, whatever we do, if at all, can we notice something, this is not good, this is bad, if at all you can just, explain. Not from the the technicalities of UI and UX, but a general example, like what exactly we can call it as it's bad, or what exactly it's is good. If
Yeah,
it
sure.
come up with those examples, I'll.
Yeah, sure. So there are real life examples also, and we can just have a look of the two websites which I'll be showing to you, so you can make out the difference there itself. So this is what I'll be sharing right now. Just give me a moment.
Sure.
Okay. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be looking at some good real life bad examples of UX right now. I'll just go through one video. Just have a look at this video, and you can understand this. There's this door on the 10th floor of the Vox Media office that I hate so much. Damn it. You ever get this door wrong? Pretty regularly. Have you seen people misuse it? All the time, every day. Constantly. I hate this door. Me too, Kelsey. But here's the thing. As soon as you start looking for confusing doors, they are everywhere. It's push. Why? I feel like Roman Mars would know about this. This is 99% invisible. And those doors you hate are called Norman doors. What's a Norman door? Don Norman wrote the essential book about design. He is the Norman of the Norman door. All right, and where is this guy? Okay, so uh, would we? So have you just looked at the video right now? And could you? Are you able to listen to the video,
Yeah,
Mahesh?
so it talks about something like, let's say, this is the I mean, everyday problem that people face. Like if it is not mentioned, like whether to push or pull, definitely we face issues. And then all the time the first attempt is wrong. I mean, most of the time the first attempt is wrong,
Mhm.
and then we realize it's not push, it's pull,
It's
or
possible.
it's not pull, it's push, and then we correct ourselves
Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah, so that is called a Norman door, just because this term was coined by Don Norman, and you can just Google Don Norman and you can get more examples of this, and it's really worth watching and worth reading it. So,
Okay.
so this is the first example of the bad UX. Now, just look at this image out here. So, if you can see it, that is the worst placement which we have seen in this newspaper. So this guy is very really unfortunate to place to the heading worst heading in the on the home page. So if you can see out here that that the mal jail for a man who twice raped a girl aged 12 in his home. But actually, this guy is something different, who is a singing mechanic, has stars in his eyes. So if the placement is wrong, it goes to the bad UX. It conveys the bad message also, right? So this is the second example. What you can see. This is very self-explanatory. You can see the hood on and off, anti-animal cruelty club and animal cruelty club when the hood is off.
So
Uh,
this is more from, I mean, the hood example is more from whoever basically designed the hoodie. So
Correct.
what happens is, if at all the hoodie is off, it basically completely changes the meaning of that sweatshirt, right?
That's what you're right. So the animal cruelty club. So it sends a negative message out there. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is one of the good examples of bad UX. So no one places the trash bin where you are sitting right now. About that. So this is something I almost broke my leg. I actually captured this image from one of my when I was entering in a bank, and there this was something like this. So I actually captured this image and I put this image in my session just because to understand that how this could be disastrous when you can fall and you can understand that the steps are quite uneasy to walk on.
Okay.
So a typical example of many microwave buttons on on a microwave. So you can just understand which button you really get confused that which button is for what thing. So we really don't need these many buttons. Okay, so these are the some typical examples of bad UX, the real life examples. Now I can go to the real life good examples as well. So just look at this video. Why is there a strange looking metal plate along the side of the road in Norway? It's not just decoration, it's actually a creative public design that makes life much easier. Many Norwegian cities are built on steep hills, and for people who bike to work every day, especially elderly riders or those with limited mobility, the ride home uphill can be exhausting. To solve this, the city installed a special bicycle lift. The concept is simple. While riding, you place one foot on a small platform built into the track, keeping your other foot on the pedal. Once you start it, the platform steadily pushes you and your bike uphill at about 5 miles per hour, taking you to the top without any extra effort. Known officially as the bicycle lift system, it's currently the only one in the world. Since its installation, it has helped countless people conquer steep climbs, and because of its uniqueness, it has also become a tourist attraction. Many visitors come just to try this effortless uphill ride and enjoy the feeling of reaching the top without even pedaling.
That's nice.
That's nice. Yeah, this is the very good example of UX where people have thought so much of this particular product, and they have put in a lot of efforts understanding how the hill is and how they can make such a good product.
It's more of an analogical example of the UX.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the next example. So a typical example from China and the Chinese made things, but these people are really creative, and they really do some good. Uh, they really build some good products with understanding the ergonomics, and they are very creative about this thing. So this is a vessel, cleaning vessel for fruits or anything like that. Again, a good example of UX.
Something that people with pets will understand.
Yeah, they struggle a lot, I guess, to clean this things. But this is the product where let's see one more example. These are a typical products examples where a very good UX is applied out here, where the pet cannot step out easily. So, and it is very flexible as well. So you can attach it to the door, and then you can see the effect out here. So I guess these
Great.
examples suffice actually what the real world examples of good and bad UX. But now we'll be seeing something for a digital product. So again, I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, I've shared my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Typically, a bad example of bad UX. not this is not a bad UX example, but you can see that this IRCTC site, this is for the train booking, this is the government site, and it is so much cluttered. So there are so many messy things that this pop-up comes out. Then if you can see it here, there are a lot of images overlapping. This is Ask This or something. So it is not visible properly. There is an advertisement out here. Indian Railways, the menus are not properly arranged. They are, you can see the alignment of the menus that is not properly. So you can
It's
see
more
that
of a, I mean, instead of like, helping, it confuses basically.
it confuses, right? So booking ticket booking, that is the which that is merging with the background. So you just cannot see that form properly. So that is very confusing. There are two buttons out here. Then the user get confused of where to go, where to find, and how to get the information from this website. Whereas you can just I just scroll down this site, and you can just see that they have the sections are actually built uh, like anything, that they have not built properly, they have not arranged it properly. There is an advertisement in between which again confuses the user. Then there are holidays, international packages, you can see out here. Then get connected, there are various buttons out here, there are various icons out here, and you can see that it's a messy site altogether. Okay, but against that, if you can go to the bus ticket booking for red bus, it's very clean. It's very clean. The user can understand. Just look at the menu. The red bus logo is properly placed on the left hand side. There are the margins they have left from left hand side, right hand side. Then the menu size is very appropriate, so it can fit in the links properly. So which if you are going for the bus tickets, that it is highlighted out there. If I go to the train ticket, it gets highlighted and with the underline, or uh, the line below it. Then there are bookings out here. So there are on hover effects. So you can just go to that bookings, and you can make out that I'm in the booking section, or you can check this. Okay, so just just go through the clean and very easy layout, where you can there are soothing images in the hero section as well. And the most important thing, you can see that you can search. That is the people that's what people look out for, the first thing. So from where to they want to search the buses, they want to search the trends they are looking for. They can go and search, and they can fill up this form. So you can see this thing. And the sections again, if you go to down the folds or sections, what we can say in the website terms. So these are the sections where it looks really clean, and they convey what they want to. So if you can see 25,000 people booked from Pune on the red bus last month. So this is very captivating. So this actually pulls the user, and this makes the user to book from this site. Okay, so these are call to actions, you can say. There
Okay.
are a lot of offers. So a typical example of digital product for websites. So you can make out these two websites, and you can see the difference.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is good. So at least we are able to understand now, from the as from layman terms, comparatively when it comes to, I mean, the analogical examples that you have showcased, I guess now we do have an idea this is bad UI, this is good UI or UX, and from the usability perspective, and the example of IRCTC and Redbus, and that also gives a quite a good idea about it. So
Right.
what do we have next in the place? Like, what is the process that generally you follow when it comes to when a requirement comes to you, and then how do you basically move ahead? Like, is it that visual design you do first, or is it wireframes that you do first? But some and maybe if at all you can just showcase some examples, like what exactly you do when a new requirement comes to you, specifically from the design perspective. I'll be able to talk about development perspective, but then I really wanted to, or we really wanted to know, like what exactly you do in from the design perspective.
Yes, of course, there is a process which I follow, and which every UX designer or developer follows, and that is the journey what you need to understand very well, and you have to go through your journey properly. then only you can go for a good product design, which is actually commendable, which is actually satisfiable, which is actually easy to use and more enjoyable. So let's see what is the process now. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. Yeah.
So before we proceed, something like when it comes to a software development, we do have a very what I showcased on a whiteboard sometime back. We do something like we gather the requirement, we do the analysis, we do design, we do coding, we do testing, staging. The other stages that normally we go through. So maybe somewhat similar processes do you also follow, and if at all you can explain.
Yes, actually, I do follow these similar kind of processes,
Yeah,
but
I
they
mean
are
the
a bit
terms may
different.
be different.
Yeah. So, can you see my screen now? So, are you able to?
Yeah, if at all you can just maybe maximize the screen because that is something which is yeah, now it's
Okay.
better.
Yeah, fine. So this is a typical process which I follow for designing any product. It may be a mobile application, it may be a admin panel, or it may be a website. Not a very easy website, but a typical complex website where you can see, but where you need the UX and UI part as well. So coming to the very first process, that is discover. So discovering is understanding about the users and their problems. So in this, typically in this thing, you can see that user research is something about the interviews, the surveys, the qualitative and quantitative methods in which these are followed. And based on these user interviews or surveys, we create a persona that is a fictional character based on real data. So you can understand that thing. When we'll talk this thing in deep once. I'll just go through the points right now. But understanding the users and problems. So empathy mapping is the first. The user research is the first thing. Then creating persona is the second thing. Empathy mapping, where you understand what users actually think and feel and see and do about that product. So that is the empathy mapping things. There are various templates and various documents related to it. So I'll just showcase these documents quickly once I'm driving through this process. And then the fourth one is the competitors analysis, where you study the similar apps, websites to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the competitor. So you can understand where you are and what you're lacking from the competitors, and then what is that you should need to do to overcome those problems, and you can then design a good product. So this is something about the first thing, that is the discovery thing, understanding the users and problems. Then we switch to the second thing, that is the defining thing. So now we have gathered some requirements out here. Now you are going to analyze those requirements in these two phases, the define and dream phases. So here's something clarifying the problems and goals. Okay, so what is clarifying clarifying the goals and problems and goals from the user. So in the previous stage, what we did, we understood the user research, and we created some personas and all those things. Now taking those into consideration, we do the affinity mapping. That is something organizing user research into findings. So we actually divide these understandings and we logically order them, and then we get something, a concrete thing that should be put up for using a wireframe or doing our wireframe. So we also do the user journey mapping. So we visualize the steps, the touch points, the emotions, the pain points, where we are doing in the user journey mapping. We identify the pain points here, finding the user frustrations and prioritizing them in a proper way. We write the problem statements, clear articulation of who, what, and why. So there are several things which we need to understand, that understanding the problems while designing a product. We craft valuable propositions where define a unique product benefits. what you can get unique product benefits from this particular product, and we define goals and success metrics. So this is what we understand in these two phases first. Okay, till now, I guess it is clear for you.
Yeah, so discovery is more from like I believe that it's more similar to the requirement gathering that we do, I
Correct.
believe,
Yeah.
and define is something which is more like requirement analysis. I mean, correct if I'm wrong, because what you have mentioned is understanding the user problems, which means what we do is in requirement gathering, we keep on collecting the user's requirement via interviews or via maybe analyzing the arrival products or something like we keep on collecting the details from maybe interview sheets.
Hmm.
And when it comes to clarifying the problem goals, I believe that that's exactly where you do the analysis of what the technical requirements of the client are, and at the same time, what we do is we do decide the technical stack and so on. In your case, definitely, some tools that you must be using, but then we try to understand the the user stories, and we try to convert those into the technical requirements. And there are people who are like BAs who basically can help us, in getting this thing done.
Right.
The
Okay.
only part is I don't understand the the dream part. I mean the next
Yes.
thing. Yeah, I mean that is
Yes,
something which
that
I'm
that
missing the
that's will
link.
come to.
Yeah.
And before going to that dream part, we'll just understand what are the we can just look at the examples of how the documents are used for the first two stages. And
Okay.
I'll just share my screen for this very first stage. So
That's discover, right?
yeah, discover, right? Okay. Okay, I've shared my entire screen, and you can see it right now. So these are the actual stages. What you can see it, I've made a folder structure out also here.
Yeah.
So you can see there are various stages where we discover, define, dream, design, deliver, and develop. Okay, so these are the stages we need to follow, and in every stage you can see there are some documents related to it. Okay, so I'll just pull one of the document where we can talk about the user research, and related to user research there are many other things which are associated to it. So that also I have documented. So the very first thing is something that I have created. For example, we have seen that I have created a user persona, which is a fictional thing again, and that is Anjum Chopra. So I'll just go to, so you can just look at this screen first. I'll come, I'll go into the details. I'll not go into the details right now, but you can just have a look at this persona template. So user
So
persona,
persona is more like a John Doe, right?
right? John Doe,
In
correct.
in the what you call in the technical requirements when we gather,
Yes,
like
correct.
that. Okay.
Yeah. But so Anjum Chopra is a she's an she was used to play for India, and she has retired now, and now she has decided that I want to open my own new club, cricket club, where I can train some good youngsters and get some good get some good people for playing cricket. So this is something what she wants to do. So this is a very fictional thing, and for that thing she has some problems, right? So if you can see it, she's the owner of the club, and she's a former professional cricketer and entrepreneur, and the owner of Willowfield Cricket Club. So I have named that cricket clubs as Willowfield Cricket Club. So she has started with this Willowfield Cricket Club, and now she wants to open that thing, and she has the finance ready with her. But now the challenges are what? So you can see the problems out here, problem, challenges, and pain points. So
Is it more like a SWOT analysis?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay. So typically, I'll run through this thing very quickly, but you can see it here. So balancing the financial aspects of the club, where which includes expenses, player salaries, and facility maintenance kind of a thing. streamlining player recruitment, training, development process, establishing effective communication channels with fans, sponsors, and all this. So these are the typical problems what she faces. And her motivation and needs could be something like efficient financial management tools to track club expenses, revenues, and budgeting. Then player management features for scouting, training, and kind of a thing. So if you can go through each and every point, so you can understand what are her problems, challenges, and pain points, what are her motivation needs, what are her goals and objectives out here. And if you can just understand about the demographics of Anjum Chopra, so she's aged of 46, gender female, location Delhi, income level upper middle class, and not really tech savvy. So these are the some of the things which demographic tells. Okay, and if you can see the context for what we are doing this thing. So this is something about use of a software PC plan to have an overview of the program's home club. So she would be really needing an application, either both actually, mobile application as well as the web admin panel. So she can actually track her expenses. She can actually understand the she can do the player management. She can do the coach management. She can actually announce some cricket matches and all those things. So that has to be that thing has to be under one application. Okay. Along with that, she has some fears. That is the financial challenges and instability of sustaining the club, not attracting top rating talent, impacting team performance. So you have to understand every single aspect of a persona, and you have to write it down out here. Okay, so this is something about the cricket persona. So this is the very first stage where you understand and go you prepare some documents related to it. So this is a document.
So, if at all, I mean, like you mentioned, the user persona.
Hmm.
So, this is something which is, you just try to put up some points so that, we can just have it written, and then, at least the iterations can happen. So,
Correct.
with the other documents that you have in the folder, for example, this user interview example
Hmm.
that you have. I mean, this is, either you collect a requirement, via interview, or you put it in a what you call, in a block by block
Correct.
manner, maybe in the
Correct.
sheet that
Correct.
you just mentioned, right?
That's why that's what I was coming to. So user persona, this is what I showed, which is the finished thing. So this is what we have done. But understanding, or to create a user persona, you need some documents, or you need some survey, or you need to do some analysis. That is something depends on these documents. So you can see, again taken the cricket club owner example, where of course, Anjum is not going to drive this thing. Her manager or someone will be driving this thing. So you can see the profile of that person out here. Okay, so you can just go to the profile. You can see the name, age, occupation, location, technical proficiency. What is the technical proficiency of that person? Then you will ask a question to him that, Rajesh, if this is a person who is managing the thing, the Rajesh, so he has been running this club for 12 years, and he has been training 200 players under 14 to adults. So this kind of a person she has hired, and you'll be asking what are his problems actually. Okay, so if you can go through this questions, so there are uh, uh, these are the typical questions. What challenges do you face in running a club? Player attendance, fee collection are the biggest headaches. So he'll give that answer. So you have to record these answers. You have to understand these answers. So there are typical questions you need to ask a user while creating a product. So how do you currently manage the player registrations? This is on a typical traditional style on Google Sheets. It's very messy. He'll say that. And what features would you like in an app?
So
How do
these,
you come up with?
I mean, we do. I mean, this is something which is, some owner, you have conducted, let's say, interview,
You're
but
right.
then the owner may not be the only stakeholder, right?
Correct.
In this, I mean, application. I mean, the Rajesh Sharma is not the one person who is going to go and use this application. There can be many more.
You can say there are many stakeholders in this application. So Rajesh Sharma is the first one. The first one is Anjum Chopra. She is the owner of the this club. The second one, he is the manager. The manager is the second stakeholder, the Rajesh. The third one could be the coach. Okay, then the players are there.
Okay.
The staff members who are actually operating this app. These could be the many stakeholders who are involved in this particular project.
So is a stakeholder a persona?
Yes, they are different personas.
Okay, and when you, it's like, maybe if Mahesh is going to go and use the application, and similar to Mahesh, if Amit is also going to go and use the application, but Mahesh and Amit both are similar kind of users. So
Right.
instead of like we conducted, suppose, two interviews for Mahesh and Amit
Hmm.
as similar kind of users of Ola app, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
then we will not make Mahesh and Amit as two personas. There will be
Correct.
one persona, let's call it as John Doe, right?
Correct.
And then
Right.
we'll just jot down all the requirements.
Yeah, a typically a player or who is coming in, coming and who is playing in that cricket club. So there could be Mahesh, Amit,
Yeah.
Kapil, or someone like that. So these are
So,
the same personas. So there would
okay.
be a single persona for that.
So is there any kind of a criteria like how many, I mean, for one particular persona, how many interviews, we should conduct? I mean, is there any kind of a, what you say, maybe a kind of a conveyed number or a percentage that, you have, or is just that, based on the client requirement, it keeps on changing?
Based on the client requirements and understanding the user persona, they have different type of questions. Okay, you need to ask different type of question for a different persona, because his requirements might change from the other persona. Okay, so they are into the roles actually. So if you can say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
I mean, why I ask this question? Normally, what happens is, if at all, let's say there is a general, product that we are building. Let's
right.
say if at all, I am the product owner and I want to get the product done for my own company. So
Hmm.
ultimately, what happens is, they can be generalized application. For example, I have application for citizens of, let's say, Pune. So if at all I have an application to be built for citizens of Pune, so I won't be asking questions to all citizens of Pune, right? I will
Right.
be asking questions to something like, some percentage of, all citizens of Pune. Or I may target to some sort of, you can say, area of a Pune. And then I would end up asking questions to only specific kind of percentages. So in general, in case of, product that, if we are to build, normally we come up with at least, the product-based company specifically. We come up
Uh,
with something like, 3% of the data we collect via survey, and the 3% normally
Mahesh,
represents, yeah,
can you give just a minute?
yeah.
Yeah, just a minute.
Give us a minute. So, I guess a couple of you joined little late. For those, what we have been talking about is something like Amit explained us what is UI and UX, differences. From the usability perspective, what exactly to look for. Then Amit explained something like, what is good UI and bad UI, or bad UX and good UX kind of examples. He explained it via different examples. Then, now he's talking from the perspective of the, 6D process that normally he and his team goes through. And then he's trying to explain the discover phase of, the 6D process, which is similar to the requirement gathering process, okay, in case of typical software development, or development per se. So he's talking from the example of, from the UI perspective, what are the, things he and his team does specifically from the discover phase. So and what he has been explaining is that, there's a role for a particular role. There is a persona, and then, how exactly the interviews are basically conducted. So he's having this example of certain documents that he has prepared. Yeah. So I was coming to a point like, Amit, if you're there now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So normally what we do is, if at all I am to build a product, I would end up and if it's applicable to a general public, I won't ask to something like, all the public. What I'll do is, they can be, let's say, 1000 users, so I won't go and talk to all 1000. I will just talk to 3%. That's a standard from the statistics perspective. So a random 3% of the particular role is something which is absolutely good. So, but in your case, definitely, per persona, there has to be some sort of, like, I mean, per persona, there can be at least a few people that one should be interviewing, because everybody has a different perspective from the UI perspective, right? Like, somebody may want to log in with OTP, and somebody may want to log in with something like username and password, or somebody may want to log in with Google. So, those kind of questions may come up when it comes to, like,
Yes,
the
but
login screen
in
part.
this
Yeah.
case, login case, the most easiest way is to log in through the phone number, and you get the OTP, and you have entered the application. That is very
Yeah.
simple thing. And then after that, you can go to the profile and you can change the settings.
Yeah.
Okay. So, coming back to this thing, there is a second survey example where you can just see you can collect the responses from the cricket club owners. So, you understand their age group. How often do you manage? And these are the typical questions which we asked them. That how often you manage the club activities digitally, occasionally on WhatsApp, Excel, or something like that. Devices they use. Then the rating the current system, that how you're satisfied the current system. So that rating we use. What are their biggest challenges, their feature requests. Then NPS score is something that is if the you can see that if the app solves my fee and attendance allowance, it is definitely recommended. So that is the pain point of these users, or you can say the owners. So fee and attendance problems, these are the major things which came out from this survey. Then empathy mapping with that particular club owner. You can say what he says is what he says, what he thinks, what he feels, and what he does. Okay, while interacting with this system. So he says that the fees reminders are headaches, so you cannot track these things right now. Parents keep on calling to ask about the matches timings. So these are the typical problems for a club owner. So it is very difficult to manage these things if you don't have an app. And once you have an app, you can get the things organized properly. Okay, so what he thinks about it, then what he feels about it, what does and what he does about the product. So he uses the WhatsApp for communication, tracks payments in Excel. So these are the things which are done traditionally. Now we go for the digitization thing. So this thing is about the empathy mapping example. So user persona, that is what we discussed right now. Okay. Usability testing report, that is something that we do it after when we go into prototyping phase. So this is not relevant here right now, but we can discuss this later. Okay, so these are the typical you can see
So,
uh,
Amit, if at all, from the discovery phase, the rest of the, Ds that we have, if at all, you can just, quickly navigate us through. And then, maybe if at all, we can ask the participants that if at all they want to get into, like, any of the dimension, or not dimension exactly, any of the D, for example, in your
mhm.
60 process, they can, connect one to one with you, as you are also part of the, the group.
Right.
Yeah. So if at all you can just showcase. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. So in the discovery phase, what we see is user research, creating personas, empathy mapping, competitor analysis. This is a defining phase where you can see the UCBC. So this is some interesting thing you can capture at an early stage. That UCBC is something related to user-centered business canvas. You can check this thing, and I have just created one UCBC. I'll just share that thing with you. Okay. Can you see this thing? Yes. So this is the document where you understand the problems first. Okay. Then you understand the users, then you understand what the solution you can provide to it. And there are typically these things are typically divided into columns and rows, where you can see the problem. You can jot down problems and needs of the user, user types, what you are, or user fears there are, solution what you can provide to them, how can you plan to solve the problem. Then user acquisition channels, you understand those things. Revenue sources, how can you make money, what are the metrics that this will tell us that is this product is doing good or bad. Value proposition, how can you create good values for the users. User goals, what are the user goals, who are the early adopters of this product, what are the existing solutions of this product. So typically you can see this is a UCBC, that is the user centered business canvas, you need to understand in the defining phase. So this one is field one, you can just look at this thing. Again, the cricket example. Problems and needs, what problems do users face, the facilities management, membership and registration. So I can share these things and you can just go through it, because this thing is very, actually this is a vast thing, and this will take time to cover up. So this is what about the UCBC example. So in the define phase you can see that
So,
user journey.
quick question, Amit. Who
Yeah,
does the UCBC in this case? I mean, is it something like we pick up the problems from the user, we put it, and then we analyze and we put it
right.
the solutions?
So there is a typical role in the team. So UX researcher is the person who actually researches on these things and he writes the UCBC.
Okay, so this is more of when a requirement is captured, then the requirement is analyzed and then put up in the UCBC, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay, okay.
Then again, the UX researcher goes to user journey map and he creates a user journey map for registration purpose. That is now think that the solution is not existing right now, and he's typically doing it in a traditional way. So what could be the journey? So these are the different stages of a user, where he starts from the state from the which stage he's into and what pain points he's going through. So this is a typical journey. So registration, if the stage is registration, uh, what will be the action for that? The players will player fill forms manually. So touch points, paper, WhatsApp, then emotions, neutral, frustrated, then pain points, lost data, hard to manage, and you can find an opportunity out here. So that is online registration via app. So that is the app comes into picture. Again, for the fees collection, this is the journey. You
Yeah,
can you just look at
that's really self-explanatory.
explanatory,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay. So basically, what you're trying to put up is there is a there is something which basically is a pain point.
Hmm.
What basically user does, then the major touch points or things involved, the emotions of the user. Then you conveyed something like the pain points that the person goes through and the solution, which means
Solution.
you are trying to find opportunity to basically address the problem that the user has. And the emotions are also basically mentioned.
Yeah, and along with that, the stages are really important for that. So registration stage, fee
Agree.
collection stage, something like that. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
this is about the user journey mapping. Okay, so this is the typical user journey.
So I'll just try to maybe add on something to this. The
Hmm.
user journey is somewhat similar to the typical activity flow diagrams that an architect comes up with. So I'll just try to, if at all, so far what Amit has showcased, if at all for all the people in the webinar or who are going to go and listen that later. Normally, when it comes to something like a requirement gathering, I guess Amit, you explained a process called as discover. Then there
Hmm.
is something which is analysis, which is where you have actually brought in the UCBC and the part. And in the analysis itself, what normally a technical architect does is comes up with a use case and action flow diagrams. So the the user journey is somewhat similar to the action flow diagram, right?
The right.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, please proceed.
Yeah.
You were saying something.
So okay. So the very next stage is define that we have seen right now. Dreaming. This is about this is a stage where requirement uh, the gathering part is done, but these two stages where the requirement analysis is done. So in the define phase, it started with the requirement analysis. Now we're making some sensible understanding out of that data, and we're putting it up to putting up to make it more sensible. And then how can it will be converted into a wireframe where we can start with the product design. Okay, so brainstorm techniques. There are some brainstorm techniques out here. Developing user flows and task flows. This is what you mentioned right now, Mahesh. Sitemap creation, card sorting, navigation, and best design practices.
So
Uh,
it's again one more time. It's more like one activity is picked up, and then that activity is basically detailed down or drilled down, right?
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
that's more of a dream stage.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Now you come to the stage where you start designing the wireframes. Okay, once this data is analyzed properly, and if that data is making some sense, then let's put that data into wireframes now. So typical understanding of this thing is low fidelity wireframes are there, which are done by using papers, hand driven sketches, drawn sketches, or something like that. And there is a mid fidelity wireframes, and there are high fidelity wireframes, but those are not called wireframes. That is the UI. So these are the three stages where you can go through. But it's not necessary that we can go for the very low fidelity thing. Now you have got some good tools to design the mid fidelity wireframes and then go to the actual UI. Okay, so
Can you help us understand the tools, like what tools you use specifically to I mean I really don't know, but the earlier stages, the things that you mentioned, like we do dream or we do discover,
hmm,
most of the documents are either Excel or Word, right? I mean the
correct,
documents, or it can be some
correct,
sort of audio files captured or video interviews captured. But
correct.
keeping that aside, when it comes to this current phase that you're trying to showcase, when you're trying to create this wireframes. So, what tools do you prefer or you use generally?
Typically, the best tool which I use is Figma. So
Okay.
Figma is meant to do the wireframes and the UI design as well. So you
Mhm.
can actually use this tool. This is very user-friendly tool. And there are some other tools also, such as Adobe XD, Miro, and all those things. But these are not very effective, but and easy. But this is one of the finest tool which I have used till now. So it's very popular in the designers, and most of the designers, you can say 90% of the people use this Figma tool only.
Oh,
Okay, so I'll just go through that thing. I'll just share my screen.
yeah, if you can just showcase us a couple of
Yeah,
wireframes and
yeah,
maybe the
yes,
visual designs that you have come up with, I guess
yes,
that will help. Just
yeah,
a couple of examples.
yes. Okay, so this is opening IIS. So can you see the screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can see the
Yes.
screen. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a just a minute. This is opening right now. Just give it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a tool where you can handle the wireframes. You can create the wireframes. You can create the UI designs. You can create the component. You can create the design styles. You can create everything in this. You can create the prototypes, and that can be hand off to the a developer, where you can understand how to design the thing first, and then entire journey is about designing only, and then handing it off to the developer. So on the left hand side, you can see there are some things called as pages, where there is a cover page, there is a desktop and mobile. So these are the three pages where you can see the responsiveness of the application as well. So you have to design this thing keeping the developers thing in mind, that Is it really feasible for developers to develop this thing first? Is it understand the technical feasibility of the product? So is it really something that this is a technology on which this technology we can build this thing? And is it really easy for a developer to create a design same what we are doing for what we are doing in Figma? So many times what happens that it is very difficult for developers to understand to create this kind of things, because these libraries or something that are not available uh, while doing a software development. But you have to talk to first to a developer that which is the easiest thing you can find out, and this is how you can easily develop this application. Okay, so I'll come to the cover page. I'll come to the desktop thing. So this is a typical wireframe, and it is well organized. So when I click on the desktop thing, you can see there are the layers. So as I click on each of the layers, you can see there are some things selected here on the right hand side.
So, Amit, if you can, you can just run the, Figma and just, understand us like what exactly the Figma looks like. I guess that will help instead of like, navigating like, frame by frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see this. This is a canvas thing, and here you have designed a typical a login screen for desktop. Okay. So I'll run this thing. So in wireframes, you just have to understand uh, which things will be placed where, instead of using colors, fonts, and images and everything. So you can see this thing now. This is a typical wireframe where it tells about the logo to be placed where. Then there is an image out here. Then this is the login screen where you can welcome. On the right hand side, you can see the email or phone number, password, and sign in, or you can just log in through this particular platforms. So if you can see in the screen that the screen is just gives you the understanding that which thing is placed where and how it is clear to the user. Okay, so this is the very first screen. And once I go inside, you can see this page. Once you're logged in now, you can see this page. So there is a header, there is a logo, there are some links out here, there are some icons on the right hand side, and this is the typical page where these are the sections, and you're just putting it in a plain black and white thing just to understand how the page will look like. Okay,
This is the black and white Figma we are talking about, right?
this is the black and white Figma. This is the wireframe part. This is
Okay,
the
and
this is the high
Amit,
fidelity wireframe.
low fidelity, okay.
High
High fidelity, okay.
high fidelity wireframe. Then comes the UI.
So low fidelity is something that you come up with the like maybe hand-drawn things, right?
Yes, hand-drawn thing, low fidelity and mid fidelity as in between this actually. And this is the high fidelity wireframe where you can just feel the application, how this application will look like. Now it is just like a skeleton, and now we're going to put a flesh on it. So that is the UI part.
So okay, so I mean, and how do you decide like do you provide the since there are no colors available, so do you also decide like what colors to put up based on obviously the requirements that you may have received?
Correct. So this is the very early stage, Mahesh, where you can present it to the client that this is the typical structure of your website or an app, and this is how the flow will go. So this is here itself in this early stage, you can just understand the proper requirements from the customer, and then you can do the changes out here instead of doing in the development part. So that is very costly and time consuming as well. But now, since the wireframes are meant for this thing only, that you understand the requirements very well in the early stage, You can change those requirements, you can reiterate those things, you can delete, you can add. You can do everything in this stage. Just to understand that, yes, now this is the final version of the application, and now this can go for the development part.
Understand. So, I mean, if at all, the same design or, if at all you have anything ready, if at all you can just showcase, like, let's say upon the approval of the flow that you have showcased, when you fill up a color, like, what do we call it as and how does it look like?
Yeah. So this is a typical application of fashion. This is the e-commerce application, and now you can see this is done using the colors and everything. So I'll just go through this application. I'll run this application, how it will look into a typically a mobile screen. So you can just get the feel of a mobile. Okay. Can you see this thing?
Yes.
Yes. So this is a typical home screen of a fashion brand. Okay. So there are actual images, there are actual colors. There is the navigation bar, the search thing. Then there are sections out here, new arrivals, apparel, something like this.
So
And you
there are some mock-up images and, the colors that you have filled up now. I mean,
yes,
after the wireframes approval.
wireframes approval. So this is how it will look like typically.
Is this something which is called as a visual design?
Yes.
Okay. And this
And
is clickable model, right?
this is clickable model where I can show you just a minute. Just
So
give me a
this is
minute.
more of a, without a, I mean, it's more or less the application without a functionality. I mean, the actual core functionality written into it. It's
Correct,
just a
correct.
design that, you click and you navigate through the through the things.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And after that, based on the requirement, given by technical team, I mean, while you are doing this UI design and, the wireframes and the visual design, after that, when it comes to development, so, development perspective, I may require something which is more or less like, something for React Native, something for React, or something like, maybe I need something for, let's say, maybe ASP.NET Core, or maybe I need something for Java. So, what is it that you do then? Like after the, visual design is ready, what is it that you come up with?
Okay, so once this is done, there are assets. So these typically these things are called assets. So
Okay.
what is required by a developer? So it may be some you just said that I'm going to develop this application in .NET, or I'm going to develop this application in React or something like that. So React has its own libraries. So we understand those libraries, and accordingly we create that kind of assets in the application, and that assets are handed over to the developer. So that assets are in the form of, you can say, the buttons, you can say the cards, you can the navigation thing,
Or maybe markup,
huh?
or maybe markup.
Or maybe markup also.
Okay. So, I mean, Amit, if at all, you can just go back to the, the 6D process that, you tried to showcase initially in the one of the PPT.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if we can just go to the, first one, the first one, yeah,
yeah,
this one. So, when you said something like, when it comes to scope, so you did the requirement gathering. In the define and deem process, you did the analysis.
correct,
Okay. In the design phase, what you are doing is basically you are doing a wireframing and the visual design part. Okay.
correct.
And when it comes to deliver, I guess you are going to go and hand over the what you call the
As a prototype.
assets,
Yeah,
right?
assets and prototype.
Assets and prototype.
Right,
Correct. And then, the actual development, which means you hand over those assets back to a developer, right?
correct.
That is something which is the process that we follow.
Follow. Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to go and write down, I mean, just help me write down these things in the, in the whiteboard.
Mhm.
I'm just going to go and go to whiteboard. I'll just share my screen now, Amit.
Sure.
You can stop sharing yours.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So I am just going to go and overlap what we do and what, you basically just try to convey. Okay. So this is something which we talked about. I mean, this is something which most of the developers are aware of, and then we can have a separate session on this. like, what exactly we do in analysis and gathering and so and so. But then when it comes to this, one-to-one mapping, in a requirement gathering, you explain the process, which is discover, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is your process. The designer basically follows
Correct.
discover. Then the next process that we do is
Define.
define. Okay, so this is define and dream, you said, right?
Define and dream.
Okay, so this is define plus dream.
Correct.
That's the process that you follow. And this is something which is, a designer's process. Then comes up next one here, which is under design. What you do is it's called design only, na?
Design. Right.
Okay. And under design, what basically tools that you follow is Figma and all, right?
Figma. Right.
Figma. Then there is wireframing.
Wireframing.
Okay. Visual designs is what you do.
Correct.
Correct. This is something which you do under this. And then after design, so we are done with 4Ds. What else is remaining here?
Okay. Design. Then you can go for deliver.
Ha. Okay. So there is a deliver and
Last one is development.
okay, deliver and plus
Development.
development, right? Develop, na?
Development. Yeah.
Develop. Okay. So this is where you hand off the design. So
Correct.
this is what you do out here is hand over something which is called as assets
Assets.
to developer.
Correct.
Okay. And assets mean, okay, is equal to something like, maybe images or
Image.
markup, etc. Okay,
Right.
based on the technical need of the project.
Right.
This ultimately sums up, most of the things. If at all we can map this correctly.
Hmm.
So is this correct, Amit?
Yes.
Okay. And when you do this, what you try to explain us is something like, this is 6D process that you follow. This is the 6D process. 6D
Process.
process that you follow.
Correct.
Okay. Let's try to highlight this. So this is 6D process that you follow. And help me understand what you explained out here is under the discover phase, what you do is, the diagrams or documents that you explain, something like, user interviews that you conduct.
User interviews.
Okay, I'm not going to go and put all the things,
Yeah.
but then I'll just, try to understand the context. I'm just trying to make it clear to all the people here.
Right.
So you have user interviews conducted,
Correct.
then,
Then competitors analysis you can do.
okay, so maybe rival analysis,
Rival analysis.
then.
Then you can go for survey examples. Survey.
Okay, surveys that you conduct, etc. I'll mention
Empathy mapping.
empathy mapping. Okay.
And a user persona.
Okay. So persona is something that you do here. I
Right.
forgot. Persona is like a joint, I said.
Correct.
Persona mapping. For example, joint.
Right.
Okay. This is something which you do in discover phase.
Right.
Then under the define and dream process, you said something like SWOT analysis like thing is what you do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was something which was the process that you talked about. More like a
User journey mapping.
user journey mapping. So user journey mapping. Okay, similar to what I said, user use case
Use case.
and activity diagrams
Activity diagrams.
in, maybe technical terms.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where you do UCBC, right?
Right.
So here, then yeah, from the design perspective, this is something which you do. So this is something which can be mapped now. And
Yes.
then when it comes to wireframing also, this is exactly where I know if I have to explain what we come up with as a developer is this is where we come up with something which is called as, class diagrams. Okay. And then those class diagrams are later on converted into something which is called as, sequences also, class diagrams and sequences. This is what we do. Okay. Okay, and then when you deliver, we actually do the what you call as design and the code integrations. Like this is something which is handover developers the mapping, something
Hmm.
which is called as clickable model, you said,
Clickable model,
or
interactive prototypes, you can say.
yeah, prototyping. Na?
Yes.
I'll hand it over. So the actual development basically happens after the mapping. It happens out here.
Hmm.
So after assets are delivered, actual coding begins. Right?
Right.
This is what happens. Okay. This is neat and clean. I guess this sums up almost everything. Yep.
Yes. So
So yeah,
before closing, Manish, I would like to show what we have done for ISS. So that is the prototype what we did for ISS.
yeah, sure, sure.
Just a
Good.
minute.
I'll stop sharing mine.
Mahesh, can you stop sharing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, there's a question from Vishal. As
yeah.
per designer, at which step should a developer enter the process? Or both would work simultaneously?
That is the stage where a developer should enter in a stage of dream, the third stage.
Dream, which means the analysis phase itself, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So while the analysis phase is happening, I mean the requirements are Vishal captured by both the both the representatives. So at any point of time, but when it comes to a developer and design joining hands, so when it comes to something like the analysis, I guess that's exactly where they should join the hands.
right,
I mean, not from the again, not the developer at a very what you call it as a junior level, but normally the technical team, the development technical team, should join hands with the UI team. They should join the they should understand and have brainstorming meetings.
correct.
So Amit is just going to one showcase us now. One of the thing that me and Amit, we worked on a project. This was a project for a company called ISS, and it was more or less what you can say. It was a 2 year, I guess 2 years, right, Amit? It's
Years
a
engaged.
2 year long project that we worked on. A very complex UI and a very high functionalities built with React and server side with Java. Okay. So, Amit, I guess you can showcase this and then, we'll conclude. If at all there are questions, concerns that, maybe participants have, they can ask. Otherwise, we can call it as a, sum up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
Amit, over to you.
yeah. Okay.
Something which we built in, with a 2 year old project. Year old, it's a 2 year time duration that the project basically picked up.
Just a minute. I'll just entering the prototyping phase.
Sure. Vishal, I guess, that answers your question. Vishal, if you have received your answer. Your voice is not audible. If you can just message in the chat window.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So you can see out here that this is the login page and I sign in from here. This is just a prototype and this is not a built application. So I sign in and I typically see here that there is on the left hand side there is a navigation panel out here and on the right hand side there is a canvas of the body and there are some typical icons in the header part. So once I click on this thing, so I'm able to see what are the tasks here in this dashboard. And as I keep on navigating, I'll just see the dashboard for the users out there. So this is dashboard, user management, calendar, app configuration, and these things. These are the typically things which are done understanding the user requirement. Okay. So before this thing, this is the final UI, and now we actually did a wireframing of this thing. So that is not available with us right now. But this is the final UI what we are presenting, and this is the handoff to the developer. This is what in the form of assets we have handed over to the developer. Okay, so you can see this on the left hand side. As I navigate through each of the phase, you can see there are different pages out here, and this is what we have. So these are the typical screens where you can see there are a lot of things which are involved in this thing, and this is the drag and drop kind of a project. Okay, so visualization again. So this looks typically something like this. Analysis, data set, importing, and importer server status screen. So this gives you an overall understanding of how the application flow is from beginning to end. Okay, Mahesh. So this is
Yeah, this is great, Amit. I mean, this is it really helps me as well, and participants to understand something like how the design developer basically work and the overlapping of the stages that we normally follow. I mean, the terminologies are differently different, but then we follow almost similar processes, when it comes to design and development. Yeah. So if at all we have any questions, from participants, we'll entertain. Otherwise, we are good to close. So if at all there are any questions, Vishal, Sonia, Shubhangi, ma'am. I guess some people have lost. Uh, it's a Saturday, and some people may have some other things to attend. But definitely, we'll have good views in terms of the recording. Okay. Yes, all good. Yes, thanks, Vishal. So okay, I guess if there are no questions, then we'll pause then. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone,
thank you.
and we'll share the recording on the group. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good day.